You should have just finished reading pages 4 through 8 in your book, Awesome Ants. Those are the first two sections of the book. So now we're going to read them together and discuss the main idea of each section. The first thing I want you to notice is the illustration at the top of the page. We always want to pay attention to the illustrations and their captions. So ants are always on the move. Captions can give you extra details and more information that is important while trying to understand what you're reading. The title of the first section we're reading is called A Little History.
A little history. You've seen them marching through grass and across sidewalks. You may have even seen them crawling over your kitchen counter or inviting themselves to your picnic. They come in colors such as red, yellow, brown, and black. We're talking about ants. Tiny, strong, awesome ants. Ants are about 100 million years old.
Okay, I'm going to pause it because I want to pay attention to the illustration up here, the picture, and its caption. So my picture says, my caption says, this fossil of a giant male ant is over 49 million years old. And the first sentence that she just read says that ants are about 100 million years old.
They were crawling around under the dinosaurs, early mammals, and ancient birds. Between then and now, they've changed a lot. Ants used to look more like wasps with shorter jaws. Today, more than 10,000 species of ants live in deserts, rainforests, swamps, and cities on every continent except Antarctica. They have been able to survive so long because of their bodies and how they live. Through the years, they have been able to adapt to changes in their environments. Body parts.
All right, we are going to pause and we're going to discuss the main idea of this section, a little history. Okay? So, a little history, when I read it, for me, I can understand that the main idea of this section is that ants have been able to survive for millions of years because of their bodies and how they live. Details that support the main idea include that ants were alive during the time of dinosaurs and that ants live on every continent except Antarctica. So pausing when you're reading and at the end of each section to identify the main idea and supporting details of each section helps you remember and understand what you've read. Okay? And this page gave us a lot more details that we didn't even get into. I just gave some examples. So now we're going to read the second section titled Body Parts. So the first thing I want you to do is look at the photo on the top. We have a diagram showing the body parts of the ant. So on the top we have the head. You can see it's labeled here. The middle is called the thorax. And the bottom that is larger and darker is called the abdomen. This little box here is where they have zoomed in on the ant's leg to show you a closer look. Now we want to make sure we read the caption because that's going to give us more information. An ant's leg seen through a microscope shows the hooks it uses to climb. All right, let's listen carefully to the section titled Body Parts.
Body parts. Like all insects, ants have 6 legs and 3 body parts. The back part of their body is the abdomen. This part holds the heart and stomachs. Some ants have stingers and poison sacs that they use to protect themselves from predators. There are 3 pairs of legs attached to the middle part called the thorax. Each leg has 3 joints and little hooks that allow ants to climb almost anything. Ants don't have ears, but they can hear by feeling vibrations through their legs and feet. The head contains...
All right, before we listen to her read about the head, let's look at this diagram of the ant's head. Okay, so you have the antennae, 1, 2, right there. The jaws, then this whole thing is the head, and then you have your eyes. Okay, and here's a picture. It looks like it's carrying something much larger than
Contains
itself.
the brain, 2 eyes, antennae, and jaws. The jaws open and close like scissors. They are used for cutting and carrying things, and also for digging and hunting. They are an ant's most important tool. Ants can lift more than 20 times their own weight. Ants also have other mouth parts for chewing food and drinking. The 2 eyes, called compound eyes, are each made up of many smaller eyes.
Okay, before she continues to read, let's look at the photo. And we have some ants here, and they're eating on what looks like a grape. And then you have your caption, ants use their antennae to taste a grape.
Even though ants have so many eyes, their eyesight is not very good. Instead, they use their antennae to get around. The antennae are like all-in-one sense machines. Ants use them to taste, smell, hear, and communicate with other ants through touch. The long, thin antennae bend in the middle, like a human's elbow, and are always moving around. Ants don't have lungs. Instead, they breathe through small holes all over their bodies. Let's talk.
Okay, so before she starts reading about the next section, let's think about the section body parts, and let's think about what the main idea of this section is. So the main idea is going to be what the entire section was about. So for me, I would identify the main idea is that ants are like all insects and have 6 legs and 3 body parts. And then all of your details are the information they gave us about each body part. So there's the head. We had the thorax on the first page. And here they're talking about the eyes and more details on the head. So all of these extra details about the different body parts support the main idea that ants are like all insects having 6 legs and 3 body parts.